Hi, I'm Scott with Starkey Family, Fixing Rigging Up. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way, when I put out a new video, you will get notified and then you can watch my video. Now today, we've got a very unpleasant job to do on this Dixie Chopper. Unfortunately, when I was mowing the grass, a manifold gasket blew. So what's actually happening is not only did that blow, but it's releasing a lot of heat right directly onto my fuel filter. And it has actually melted my fuel filter just a little bit. So the goal for today is we're going to try to get in there and replace this manifold gasket. Is it going to be fun? No, it's not. So let's go ahead and get this video rolling. Okay, so let me just go ahead and show you where this is. This right here is where the manifold actually goes up onto the block. So you've got the outside one, which is easy to access, but then you have another one on the inside here that I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get to that. And then we have another exhaust pipe doing the same thing on the opposite side of the engine. Now, I explained to you about my fuel filter. Can you see that right there? That's not dirt or anything like that on the inside. The heat has actually crystallized my fuel filter and has actually melted it, if you can see that. There's a big old bubble on the side of it. So we're gonna have to change it out also. But for now, let's go ahead and get some oil shot on that on those studs there. So I got some PV Blaster, and I'm going to go through and shoot all these like this. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to take this first nut loose. Now this is actually, I tried using a 1/2 inch and it was actually too tight. So I'm using a 13 millimeter, and that seems to be doing the trick. That actually came free a lot easier than I thought it would. Maybe I'll get lucky and this will be an easy job. Wow, that's actually unscrewing it a lot easier. I've been saturating this for over a good week now. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to have to get this one out. This is underneath the lawnmower. Okay, right there is the one that I just removed. Yeah, this plate is actually covering that up. So I'm going to have to try to come at it at an angle. So this is on the right hand side of the motor. So let me go ahead and get some extensions and probably a swivel. Okay, so I don't know how well you can actually see this, but I decided not to use a normal swivel. I decided to use swivel head extensions. Okay, I'm hoping that this ends up being a little bit more sturdier. Wow, this actually came off easy. I actually think that after pulling these off of here, I think what's actually happened was, over the years, the nuts have actually vibrated loose. I think that is why I have actually blown this gasket. Okay, so I've got that nut off. Okay, so first off, this is the oil drain line. So we need to move it out of the way. Okay. Now this one's on there good. Try it without an extension. Now this side was on there good. Let me get a longer socket here. Okay. Yeah, this seems a little bit better here. No way to get leverage on this. This exhaust actually runs over into this a little bit. Oh, well, I guess the long socket's probably not the way, because now I've ran my ratchet to where I can't get it out. So, I guess don't do that. So with the extension and a short socket, you can actually do this. Well, with my short socket, or short extension anyways. I really cannot believe how easy these are coming off. So here's the problem that I have on this inside one. You see all these little holes cut out in here? Well, it's different from the other side. Because of this bottom plate right here, I can't actually go from the bottom of the lawnmower and up through like it did the other side. So this is going to be a little bit trickier. Okay, so this is just going to be a little bit fun to get back in here. Okay, so I've got that up on there. I apologize if you're not able to see this, but it's kind of hidden. Oh, yeah, this one here's loose too. I'm guessing problem was on here, I think all my gasket, or all my nuts just came loose on here, and that's what happened. Unless that PB blaster really did its job. It might have came through this time. Even though this is still a really fun area to get into here. Gee whiz. I think I got it. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I can get it with my fingers. Nope. Jeez. Tell you, this one here is a bear to get into. Okay, they come this time. Yep, I got it. Okay, so since we were able to get all the nuts off the manifold studs, now we've got to come back here and loosen up these two braces right back here. One here and one over here. Okay, with the studs out of the way now, what we have to do is we have to take the back off on the muffler. So let's go ahead and saturate this down with PB Blaster as well. Let's give that just a couple minutes to soak. Okay, let's take care of the right hand side. Wow, that broke free really quick. Not enough for my hands though. There we go. We'll leave that one loose for a minute. Okay, let's go ahead and get this other side here. This one's coming pretty easy too. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish taking this off. Okay, so basically, you gotta drop this. Well, this isn't good. There we go. I was actually getting nervous. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to pull the engine. Now, is this gonna fit out here? There we go. Okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of cleanup to do, but this will be fairly simple. At least on this side. basically we want to make sure that we get all that old gasket material off of here, even though it's a metal gasket. Okay, so now let's move to the next one. Okay, so this is actually important. Make sure you always grab the old gasket off there. You don't want to forget and double gasket your manifold, because guess what? It will not work like that. It will blow first time you start the engine. Same thing on the other side. Now, after getting the gaskets off, I'd like to show you this. My gaskets, actually, there's no scorch marks on them. There's no cracks on them. Either one of these. So, after seeing these and seeing how clean the manifolds were and everything, I'm actually thinking that as loose as the nuts were to get off there, I think the manifold bolts actually, or nuts actually just came loose on me. And that's where all the exhaust was coming from. Regardless, we're going to put back on there tight, and we're going to use new gaskets. So let me go ahead and start to clean up on the engine. Okay, now without removing the engine, there's not really a lot that I can do in here, but honestly, it's actually really clean to begin with. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wipe this down with a rag. That top side actually looks pretty decent. This will get rid of the carbon or anything like that from it. Make sure you take these studs, clean them off a little bit if you can. Okay, let me see if I can shine the camera in there. Can you see that in there? Okay, so let's go to the other side. So basically I'm just going to be doing the same thing to this side now. This side here is a little bit harder to get into. Try to get those studs cleaned if we can. Okay, let me see if I can get the camera in here. Okay, I'm just showing the inside here. Everything looks pretty decent in there. I need to wipe this set off a little bit better, but I think we're okay to put everything back together. Okay, so before I put this back together, I'm going to do just a little bit of cleanup on here. Just going to knock some of this rust off. Just shooting some paint on it. It'll look a little bit better anyways. I'm letting this get a little bit runny up here on purpose, so it'll go down into any type of crevices. Okay, now we're just going to let this dry a few minutes and then we're going to put everything back together. Okay, so it's nighttime now. I had to take my son out to a Cub Scout meeting, so we're going to finish this tonight. But I did want to show you what the actual gaskets look like. Okay, so I did want to show you these gaskets, but I also wanted to show you the part number if you need it. And these are metal gaskets. This is a Generac number. Now this is a metal gasket, so hopefully it does its job. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is to make this a little bit simpler. I'm going to try to install the gasket. And this would actually make things a little bit more simpler for me. Hopefully it stays. Not really like I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the gasket just a little bit there. And hopefully that was enough to keep it up in there. Okay, there's that side in. Let me go ahead and try to get this other one in here. Okay, so the plan is I'm bringing this exhaust in here. And I'm going to try and curl it up underneath to hook it onto these flanges here. Okay, there's one. So all I'm going to do is just going to run a nut up in there. This should hold it on there, because we just don't want it to fall off. So now I'm going to try to come over and do the other side. Do it the same way. Okay, so I've got that on there. Okay, so what I'm doing now is it's time to bring the muffler up and put it on this brace. Now I'll put the other one on the other side here. Okay, so we're just going to leave this loose for now until we get the manifolds actually drawn up into the engine and tightened down. Okay, let's get this worked up a little bit. Well, the whole stud's moving with it, so I'm not sure what's going on. May have to take it right back off again. Yeah, the whole stud's coming out. Shoot. Okay, there's the whole stud that came out. So now I'm going to have to put that back up in there. Okay, I got the nut off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stud, just simply screw it back up in here with my fingers as far as I can. Now I'm using just a really small pair of grip jaws. Run that back up in there. Till it bottoms out. Okay, so that's bottomed out. So I'm not sure what the deal is with the new hardware that I got, but it's not actually screwing onto these threads right. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use the old hardware on it. If I can get it screwed on there. Since I know it's good, now I'm not going to tighten it. All I'm going to do is just put it in there snug. After I get both sides on here, then I'll go back through and I'm actually going to tighten everything down. So now let's go and jump back to the other side. Okay, so the same thing happened to this stud. As I went to take that nut back off of this, and the whole stud came out. So I went ahead and took it off and put the stud back in there. I'm just going to stick with the factory hardware that's in there. I'm not sure exactly what the difference is on it. The threads look identical to what I actually bought on the new nuts, so I don't know. So anyways, we're just going to go with it. Same thing goes, we're just going to take this to where it's just snug. Okay. Now, we're going to go underneath the riding mower and we're going to put the nut on that other side. Now, I am going to go ahead and tighten this down. Come on. There we go. Now I'm going to move on to the other side. Okay, I know you really can't see the stud up in here. But I'm going to try to thread this on here. I think it's going. I hope it's going. How about that? Yes, it is. Let's see if I can get a longer socket on it now. It's turning. Okay. I'm able to use a deep well on getting this back on now, which is good. That means it'll be a little bit more stable. Okay. Okay, so now you gotta tighten down the last one. Okay, so now we get to tighten up the 2 bolts back here on the very back of the exhaust. Okay, there's that side. I'm just going to go ahead and get the opposite side here. Okay. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go and start this up so we can check it for leaks. But keep in mind, I actually have to sit on the motor and turn the key. And then this is going to be really, really loud, so I won't be able to talk. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hand under both sides around the exhaust manifold and see if there's any type of leaks. I think we're good. I'm Scott with Starkey Family, Fixing and Rigging Up. I hope you enjoyed watching me work on this mower, because I'm going to tell you what, it wasn't very much fun at all. Now, if you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And make sure you guys turn on the notifications. That way you know when my next videos come out. Now, I am going to let you know that I don't have a new fuel filter for this. So, I'm waiting on one. But I will be changing this. I did start this up, as you saw. I felt around everywhere. And I didn't feel any type of exhaust. The only thing that I did feel is the fan on the top of the motor that blows down through the motor. But otherwise, I'm going to call this fixed. So, you all have a great night, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.